Hi, this is Jim Thompson of Bassett Software, and today I'm going to talk to you about graphing. Graphs are very similar to the scenarios that we looked at in the last tutorial. The graphs just give you a visual representation, and scenarios are good for the tabular information, giving you all the details. Graphs are good for the big picture. There are a couple of graphs that you can run at the moment. You can plot out your total debts over time by plan, total interest paid on over time by plan, interest versus principal in a plan, and bank account balance over time by plan. Let's start off by taking a look at our total debts. Our little gear button here next to the go button chooses which plans we want to use. We're going to look at the highest interest plan and the minimum fee only plan and hit go. Now again, remember please, these reports were pre-cached, so running for you, they're not going to run as quickly, at least not the first time. Now, we saw on the other screen just how much money you're going to and time you're going to save in the last video by using the highest interest plan over the minimum fee plan. But here you can really graphically see how good it is. We start off with the same amount of debt, but if you're using the highest interest plan, it just plummets, and you're out of debt by 2012, whenever it was. And conversely, if you're using the minimum fee plan, you still have $91,000 in debt, and look at how much longer it takes you to get that paid off. If you want to look at it another way, you can look at the total interest paid. And you can see that this is also just absolutely ridiculous. The highest interest plan, you stop paying interest down here. And again, a little before a little around 2012. The minimum fee plan, you just pay thousands upon thousands of dollars more for decades longer. If you want to see greater detail, we'll go back to the total debts over time by plan, but this time we'll restrict to only the highest interest plan. If you only select a single plan, it'll give you a nice area graph. So you can see here that your mortgage is the bulk of your debt, the car loan is a little bit, the MasterCard's less than that, and the Visa is way up here. You can just barely see it. It's virtually nothing because it gets paid off so quickly. Another interesting thing to look at is the interest versus principal on a plan. And you can see here we're paid off in August of 2013 of sending a total of $131,000, but most of the money that we're paying out is principal and very little of it is interest. If you switch over and look at what happens with the minimum fee plan, you can see, well, this takes us until 2028. It's $185,000. That's all that extra money you're sending. And look at how much of this is now interest that we're shelling out. We don't need to worry about that with the highest interest plan. Now, further, you can say, well, all right, but if I'm running the minimum fee plan, then that's additional money that I can save in the bank over time, and that's true as well. But you could also save the money if you were on the highest interest plan. And to see what that looks like, well, we can compare the bank account balance over time by plan. Oh, I'm sorry, we only have the minimum fee plan selected. We'll select the highest interest as well. Apparently, at some point, my cache file was damaged, so it's regenerating the highest interest plan for us. While we're waiting for that, I'll point out that one thing that shows up here is down in the lower right. It'll tell you the best bet. It says of the plans that you've graphed, this is the one that you want to use. This is the one that's going to save you the most money. The highest interest plan is better. And as you can see, using these different strategies, the highest interest plan is going to have a lower bank account balance. You're going to have less cash on hand than the minimum fee plan for a while. In fact, up until about when your debts are paid off. But at that point, it rockets up. You can see here, around 2022, it finally catches up and then passes it. So sure, you might be saving all of your money in the minimum fee plan. You might not be wasting it or not paying attention to it. But if you're dedicated enough to actually do that, then you can be dedicated enough to do it with the highest interest plan as well, and still end up way, way, way ahead. That's about all that needs to be covered with graphing, though. So thank you for listening, and we look forward to seeing you next time.